Szolnoki, Kiki Parfait, table number 12. Szolnoki, Parfait, table number 12.
On to our next match, and we're live from Moscow, the Kremlin Cup 2019, and in the commentary booth I'm joined by Jeremy Jones.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. The match we have here, young Hungarian, correct?
Yes, he's a former junior, I think, player, not as young anymore, but still in very good stroke. Actually, I would fear for Bile a little bit here.
Well, it's short races somewhat, so no matter who you're playing, you really want to stay on top of what you're doing. Should come out 2 rails for the 3. Now that's going to run a little bit on him. Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, the cut is on. Just can go 2 rails across.
Yeah, and everything's in the open, so looks like he's hitting high ball though, so maybe he's gonna. Okay, nice shot. Applying a little bit of left side spin. Have you done many matches so far?
Only one, I think.
Was that Ruslan?
Yes.
And he made a nice comeback there.
Previous one, yeah. I don't even know how much he was trailing. I think I've seen only one direct behind.
4-2 or 4-1 maybe?
Oh, 4-1 even, yeah. Then that was a nice comeback. like Oliver is feeling pretty relaxed in this opening rack of the match, which is also always a good way to start.
Absolutely. Should just draw this back somewhat where the cue ball's at now. And Oliver, a little unlike some, he aims a little higher on the cue ball and then strikes down, where most aim lower on the cue ball and come up. Actually, I think this is a better technique.
The one he uses?
Yeah, because you notice the elbow really doesn't drop so much. When you aim high and then you go down on the ball.
Oh, he's got a very low stance, I would say, for a pool player.
And a tall man, too.
JJ, the best in the booth. Well, spot on, guys.
Well,
thank you very much for being here once again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a pleasure.
Well, I had such a great time last year. I wouldn't have missed it this year.
And as a player at the same time?
Well, last year I was a bit ill during the Kremlin Cup. I was sick the first maybe 5 days of the trip, but really had a great time after getting a bit more healthy. And I lost my first match this morning against a good player from Poland. But
I think last year you had to come here straight from Shanghai? Or
no, I didn't come here straight from Shanghai. No, I traveled just from the U.S. and then we went on to Holland. But the guys, some of the guys came this year straight from Shanghai.
Yeah.
Billy being one of them. Billy's really been working on his 10-ball break, trying to calm it down a little bit and get a little more consistent results. He's going to get snookered here in game 2.
Well, I think the things that you named are probably, I would say, every player strives like to get the same results, like being consistent and get some predictability.
Right. Well, Billy can break the balls.
Yes, but not everyone succeeds in this.
Yeah.
We've got some nasty cluster like 6, 4, and 8.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a safety at some point in this game. Now he's probably going to tie him up even more, maybe. When you roll out, you really want to lengthen the game as much as you can. So at this level, you know as well as I do that if you have to push out, you're at a disadvantage.
Well, unless you are like more intelligent than your opponent, probably, and just you putting a question in front of him.
Yeah, but like sometimes the balls don't allow you to show your intelligence. You know, like rarely do pros pass the shot very often. They're willing to try and execute before you execute. Like
talking about push-outs in the past, I think you were lucky to be playing during these times when the 9-ball, for instance, was played. Like you could push out on every given shot.
Yeah.
And in these conditions, like they used to say that the most intelligent player wins.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the game is not played like this. I mean, the game of 9-ball.
Yeah, it's a two-shot shootout, a two-shot push-out.
Maybe we have just come up with some sort of exhibition match between Earl Strickland and Johnny Archer, or maybe yourself. Yeah, just according to these rules of the past. What do you think?
It was a hair before my time. I played it in action matches a couple times, but that was really when the Filipinos started coming to America and started playing a lot of one-foul tournaments. It really caught on. So 2-foul, I haven't seen it in many, many years. And I was really surprised the way that Oliver tried to play safe there. He had a group of balls he could have clipped the one and ran the cue ball behind them.
Yeah, an early mistake from Billy while the shot was far from easy.
Yeah, but one that he definitely thinks he should have made.
No, but he undercut it quite a bit. Like I think the ball hit the second diamond.
Right. Now this is where tournament play, you got to make a decision because you can't get racks back. So he's trying to gain the angle, maybe to break the balls out. But if not, he didn't want to take a chance of getting behind the 10, like running the cue ball to get that nice angle to break the balls. He was striving for that, but with a little caution. And if he got straight here, this is going to be a little difficult to get to the 4.
Yeah, right. Maybe even if he doesn't have a proper angle to play position, maybe that's a wise idea just to play safe right now on the 3.
Yeah, he would like to get to that 4 though and play safe there. I think he can draw the cue ball back. Now I'm not sure. I'm trying to rack my brain as far as a little bit older Hungarian players that are top players. I can't think of any just off the top of my head.
I don't think they even played pool back then.
Oh, okay.
We've got Sandor Todt, who was like switching
Sandor Todt.
between Serbia and Hungary.
Oh, okay, yeah. He was Serbian though, yes, for sure.
Yeah. Scratch?
Yeah.
No.
No, Sandor Todt was a good player. Really good player.
And well, he still is. He's
got
his own academy, but well, he still has something left.
Yeah, he was in Vegas this past July for the World 10 Ball.
Because actually he won the European Championships for seniors, and
okay.
he earned the right to go to the US.
Vegas, okay.
There.
Yeah, I watched him and Earl play in an opening round match, and Earl played like it was 1990 on him. Earl beat him 8-0, I think, maybe 8-1, but played perfect.
Well, actually, speaking of Earl Strickland, I think he's hit some form recently.
Yes.
And we could probably regret over him not being present in the Mosconi Cup squad this year at least.
Yeah, well, there's still a lot to prove there, of course. But yeah, he's and I kind of commented that in Vegas, I'm not sure what he had changed mentally, but he looked very calm.
Yeah, we can just think every pool fan on the planet could just hope for maybe Earl has got some new motivation to go further.
Absolutely. A pretty nice shot there, using the 5 and the 8 to try and gain the snooker.
Yeah, I think he got the snooker behind the 8.
Mm-hmm. But he played a real nice percentage, taking a good chance at getting the snooker. And he may have left a little piece. No, he's going to kick at this. Okay, he's called it in the side. And the reason why he's called it in the side is he's trying to kick to the top rail and chip the cue ball, chip the 4 ball and let the cue ball run towards the 5. And take a chance at maybe getting a snooker back. Maybe he makes the 4 on the side.
Yeah, now playing 10-ball players rarely call any safe shots. They just call something just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. No reason for it to go in and your opponent have the option.
Yeah, sort of a two-way shot still. Not like in 9-ball. Well, the 6 can be played to the corner.
Yeah, and the 8's real handy. So main thing is stay off the rail with the cue ball when he comes across. It's a nice position. That's one thing Billy has really matured and just taking a little more time, even though it's easy. And that's not for now. That's, obviously not for this situation. That's just to build that in your game. That way, when a tougher situation comes in, you just kind of automatically take a little more time.
Well, sure, you've got to develop your own rhythm, to rely on. And in case, it happens sometimes with speedy players, they tend to rush things here and then.
Yeah.
and maybe it's a wise thing to just to slow down just a little bit.
Yeah, and everyone's not the same, so everyone's pace isn't going to be the same. But even if you're a fast player, if you can just slow it down a little bit, you eliminate those little mistakes. They can save you matches.
Yeah. Well, we are back to all square, one apiece. Still many racks to go. Yes, Charlie, very true. Listening to Jeremy can teach you many things about the game. It's just like having a pro player inside, like right beside you and inside the game at the same time. Yes, NJ, you are guessing correct. It's like around 4 p.m.
Okay, he hit those really well and didn't really get the normal reaction of the 10-ball break.
Well, actually, I didn't like the way he was racking the balls. He took took the whole rack of balls and just rolled it over the template. And in this case, I think sometimes, maybe not very often, but still, the template tends to
bunch.
Yeah.
Like wrinkle.
Yeah. Just to develop some wrinkles, and the balls do not spread properly.
Oh, that's.
He was calculating maybe for a thicker hit on the 7, or just lost the cue ball.
Well, he overcut the 1 a little, so he didn't get quite as much draw. Didn't get quite as much draw on the cue ball.
Quite a little, yeah.
Yeah. Quite a little.
That's a Russian English.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can't say anything because I can't imagine what my Russian would be like. I would just rather not attempt. So he's going to call this 2-ball. He's going to hit this with a lot of speed, though, I would think, to try and get some separation. Oh, he played it light. Oh, what a great hit. What a great hit.
Oh, that's nice. And
much appreciated by
some cheer applause by Johan Rausing, actually.
Okay,
I'm a bit surprised he was the only one.
Right. Well, this is where the slick conditions, you would think to yourself it's easy to draw back behind the 10-4, but it's not so easy when the tables are so slick. The draw doesn't quite grab, so you may see him play a short position either for the 4 in the opposite corner or the side pocket.
Yeah, I would even dare to say that it's impossible to draw from this position,
well,
in this very condition.
Right, but a lot of people don't recognize that, believe it or not, Michael.
Yeah.
And quickly just go down on the
I
shot.
think just because they lack experience of playing on the brand new cloth.
Right. But when the pressure's on, people, it's almost like they can forget sometimes, even with that experience, I guess.
That was a very nice touch on the 3 by Bile.
Well, he could have used more there. He's okay, and you always want to be to where you can run the ball off the 5, but he could have used a little thicker on the 5. He may even come near the 8 here. Okay, killed it, nice. So Billy's pretty comfortable, it looks like.
Yeah, very nice. He didn't got influenced by the early mistake.
Well, a lot of people don't realize, even though he's had success at an early age, he's a young man still, 21 years old, I believe, 22. 22. Maybe.
Well, modern pool, I think, is a game of youngsters. At least they drifts this way.
Every sport is getting younger and younger in this world. It doesn't matter what sport it is. In my opinion, anyways. I watch a lot of sports back home, and whether it be American football, basketball, baseball, hockey, it doesn't matter.
Even at a 3 cushion, it was also has been believed to be the game of old guys, because the game requires that much experience. But recently, the Korean youngsters, 21 years of age, they just
great players, right?
They're very good.
I think the only one that has gone against that in the last decade or so is tennis. Because I played tennis in high school, and it was a very young sport. You rarely ever saw anyone that was a great player go. They would retire at 25, 26 years old. But now you see Nadal, you see Federer, Serena.
Yeah.
Of course, those may be exceptions to the rules because they're so great, but
Or just the physical condition changed.
sure. But their body holds up, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so Billy's got the lead.
And the break here in Game 4. And both guys play at a nice pace, so you don't expect a real long, drawn-out match here, no matter the score.
So I think we've got some cheers from Houston, Texas.
Houston, oh yeah?
Your region,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, born and raised in the Houston area. I now live in North Texas, Dallas area. We've changed venues this year from Olimpinski, but what a nice venue this is.
Yeah.
I think it's actually better for the spectators because they're a little closer to the tables.
Oh, actually, this one is a little bit more modern, I would say.
Right.
Than at Olimpijski. So that was like the reconstruction was called for.
Yeah, this entire complex, I've walked around it to the soccer fields and a few of the other stadiums. Nice complex. All kinds of sports here. Now, the one next door is the new Olympic Stadium, right?
Yeah,
Somewhat
sure, because
20 years old, maybe?
It was only a year ago we had a World Championship football
Oh, okay.
here, yeah. So
Yeah.
just all the
Oh, you mean
all the surroundings they were reconstructed, like renovated
Right.
for this one.
Yeah, the World Cup, right?
Yeah,
FIFA.
Yeah.
I heard it was crazy times here. Well, it's coming to the U.S. again, I think, soon, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, nice shot there.
I managed to hold the cue ball for the 2.
Yeah, the 3 over the side, but you can tell the problem from the 4 to the 5. Not easy.
Maybe even the 3 to the 4.
Yes, 3 to the 4 is definitely difficult.
Like because of all the traffic, all the congestion on the table.
Right. I might try and move the cue ball a lot here. If I have a nice path to get all the way down to this in rail, I might move it a lot here and come all the way down near the 5, if I'm confident I can do so. Okay, so now what? He's going to come between the 6-9, I guess. It's probably the only option. But the thing is, if he falls a little behind it,
he's just trying to create some secondary aiming point on the rail.
Right. But I think the 7's going to loom large as far as trying to get from the 4 to the 5. We'll see. He could fall dead straight on the 4. That would be perfect. Draw back for the 5 in the same pocket the 3's in now.
Well, it all depends on how he can just feel the
Perfect.
rails.
I think he got perfect. Absolutely perfect. Or good enough, anyways.
Well, let's hope the scratch is not on.
No.
I mean, just go in like deep draw.
Right. He may have to threaten it a little bit. I think it's more the problem is he's going maybe towards the 9 with the cue ball, maybe. Oh, it's close. So it's all about speed control here.
Well, he was not aiming that low on the cue ball.
No, but he
we
hit.
We would see it like from our commentary booth position.
Yeah. That's more the old style, like the older players, 50s, 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I was told, anyways, they would aim higher on the ball and then go down. Whereas I think the Filipinos are the ones that made everyone start aiming low on the ball and come up. A la Efren Reyes, Jose
and
Perica.
like Francisco Bustamante was the first one aiming, like not aiming at the cue ball at all.
Well,
but
he's very unique, yeah. He aims completely at the left side of the ball. Okay, the 6 passes the 9, so he could just come one row up. It looks like he's coming back behind the 6. So watch out for getting elevated over the 7. That's what I would worry about. Nice shot. I'll tell you. You said he's not a junior anymore, but a young man, but looks very composed.
Yeah.
Can't be 20 years old, 21?
Oh, we could check. I'm sure he won something in Europe at the junior level. Well, but I'm not so sure about like him being that successful fighting the grown-ups, I would say.
Mhm. Well, he's hit the pocket pretty clean with most shots, so.
All ball falls, yes. Even if a player touches a ball with a point of his hair,
Oh yeah, it's a foul.
and the referee spots it, that's a foul.
Yeah, and that's the best way to play, I think. And like you said, even if it's just something so slight,
And
you have
I
to have a
think,
clear-cut rule. So.
I suppose it took quite a while for the American players to adopt this ruling, because they were the majority of them, I think, were raised playing cue ball falls only.
Yes, and it just depended on what type of events. But a lot of events in America. There's so many events in America, every week. That have pros in them as well as amateurs, that I think it was difficult to have all ball fouls, especially many of the events don't have referees at every table, or even referees covering 4 tables, you might say.
Yeah. There's the so-called area refereeing, I think.
Okay, and both guys, really, the last 2 racks have hit the rack well. But so I think, like you said, it's a bit of how they're racking with the template. And templates are made to freeze the balls, but I do think there are ways on it that you can accidentally give yourself a little bit of a bad rack. Hard to imagine them all being froze together, but sometimes I think they sit on top of the divots a little bit on the rack.
My belief is just with the template, it's better to place the ball straight from top.
Right.
Not rolling it.
Again, just not the crisp sound of the break again, and he hit him dead square. I mean, he hit him great.
Yeah, and as a result, he doesn't have anything down.
No, and the balls are clustering a little bit. I wonder, now Billy is an exceptional bank pool player, one of the best in America, top 3 or 4 probably.
Well,
So
Oliver Szolnoki is 22 right now. He was born in May.
Great shot there. He needs a bump on the 2. He got one. I don't know if he can cut it though. It's close.
Well,
It's awfully thin.
I think he can.
I think it's thin because he's so close.
After all, he's lucky the position is not on the other side of the table.
Right.
Otherwise, he would have
Cut it in. Yeah.
he maybe
Put him
play
behind the 7.
play it left-handed.
Yeah, no reason to make a great shot if you can't get position.
Once again, playing percentages.
And he's really made this one tough. A very difficult hit, I believe. The 3's kind of got the 2-rail kick cut off. The 1-rail kick, I'm not sure he can get by the 7. He may have to come to the back rail here and just go by the 8 and catch the 2, I believe. That's about all I see, Michael. Anything else you see?
Well, for me, only one rail escape.
Yeah, just to the top rail, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Now this one, if he hits top English on this, it'll probably spread and he'll go into the 9 and 5 with the cue ball. He needs center ball here. Oh, he hit it nice. Oh, he caught something. I didn't know that.
Well,
did he shave the 8?
Yeah, I think there's the
shave the 8 ball.
There's a piece of sportsmanship. Yes,
shave the
definitely
8, yeah.
from the player, because I'm not sure Billy saw it.
Yeah. Okay, so these set up nice. It's just gain position on the 3, the 4 to the 5, 5 in the side, goes by the 6 in the side. Still got some work, of course, but should manage this out.
Well, so far it looks like we've got another tense match going on after Ruslan and Kasper.
And Billy now with new equipment, now sponsored and playing with Q-Tech. So it's been about a month, I believe, a little over a month, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if there was like some discussion with the Team USA captain about like switching that close prior to the event.
Well, he played with another carbon fiber shaft, so I mean they all do vary a little bit, but Billy plays a lot of pools, so these guys are going to get used to it pretty quick.
Yeah, so
I'm
sure.
I'm surprised he didn't go forward for the 6 in the corner there, just because there's no trouble there. If you go forward, you can see how clear the table is above the 6.
Yeah, and looks like he didn't want to play the draw shot from the 6. He wanted just to make the.
Yeah, but he could have just ran the cue ball to the top rail and down, and the 6 goes down in the corner very easily. So.
Was looking for the follow on the 6, and just as a result, he cannot reach the ball at all. Still makes the call to the side.
I would say he's about 50-50 here, Michael.
Good shot, now foul, but that's an opportunity for Oliver.
And I'm wondering if he has to shoot this in the corner with follow if the cue ball's going towards that side pocket. It's a little thin cut in the side, that's for sure. Now you can put a little more speed on this and definitely get to the rail and come back out to the center of the table for the 7. If he floats it, he may be going near this side pocket, and that's what I would be worried about. Yeah, it was going there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But a nice speed, though, by Oliver, I'll tell you. And he's hit the pocket exceptionally well. Really hasn't rubbed the rail hardly at all.
Well, I took the risk. Definitely.
Yeah, he definitely recognized, though, it was a scratch. If he put any more speed on the cue ball.
Well, the way the black ball sits, it left him pretty much room for error, I would say.
Yeah.
Like playing the 6 ball. The position area was big enough.
Yeah, that's an important part of the game, is recognizing how easy some things are. A lot of guys, they really go out of their way with the cue ball too much because for the layouts of the table. Of course, sometimes you have to move the cue ball, but when you recognize how handy and how available certain balls are, it should really make you simplify what you're doing.
Yeah, of course, you should try by any means to avoid overdoing things.
Mm-hmm. But it's hard.
Or the game will punish you in the end.
It's hard, though, because you have to think simply, but then you still have to flow with the swing. So sometimes when you think simply, it makes you want to just dink the ball a little bit, and you kind of fall out of rhythm.
Oh, and just like right now,
yeah,
with a punch shot, like stun follow, and he didn't follow quite enough.
Yeah, and if his opponent had left him this
Maybe
shot, he would be loving it. But
yeah, he will maybe even have to use his Q extension if he has got one.
Well, he's going to cut it to the left pocket so he can reach it easier. I think that's a good decision.
Yeah.
He's close enough. He should aim very well. Watch out for the 2-rail scratch in the corner. Oh, now he's changing his mind again. He's a tall fellow, though, so he should reach this okay.
Makes it and avoids the scratch. Goes up 1 rec once again. It's 3-2. Did Sky win?
Yeah, he won his first match 8-1. He plays again here at 5:45 Moscow time. I don't know what time zone you call that, but
It's I think UTC +3 if it tells you anything.
I've heard it before. Yeah.
Well, I just encourage everyone to use timeanddate.com. They got a very good clock converter. You can just enter two locations and just you get
very easy.
Yeah, very easy.
Someone asked about the diamond tables. Well,
yeah,
I believe these are Vladimir's tables, correct?
No, well, I think he just was involved in like providing the tables.
Yeah, right.
I'm not sure about him being the owner.
I don't think they come all the way from the States every year, though, right? Don't they have some here already? Or
no, I think they are located here, maybe at the warehouse for the event.
Right. So they don't have to ship. I know a few years ago, maybe when did they start using diamonds here? 3 years ago?
Yeah.
I remember one of the fellows from Diamond telling me you had to come here for the tournament to set up. So Gary, actually, I believe it was.
I think it was like we had Paul Smith.
Yeah, Paul too. Yeah.
Coming here
You're
just
talking about with the glasses, Paul.
Educating the local table mechanics.
Right. Paul's a great guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little reprieve here with a nice break here in the 6th game after a mistake, getting snookered in game number 5. Billy's got a good chance to tie it up. He'll just fall forward, trying to get nice and heavy on the 3. Now the 5 goes up long, so no reason to flirt. In my opinion, I'd like to get nice and full on the 4 again, with the 8 being there.
So here you prefer like a kind of a compact game with the cue ball, right?
Yes. Because it's a slick table. So if you start getting thin when you have a little danger there, things can get away from you with just a little bit of a miss-hit. But the pockets aren't playing too tough just yet, so no reason to worry about playing the 5 up long.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that playing on the slick cloth, you should try to stick to the center of the cue ball more, like
if possible, yeah.
Just trying to use all kinds of stun shots instead of like
heavy spin. Yeah. Well, inside spin especially. I stay away from, try to not play position to have to go 3 rails with inside English a lot. Outside English, because you don't have to use as much to move the cue ball usually, it kind of agrees with the shot a little more. You can use a little bit of outside English, but if you start having to use a lot of inside English, you have to really be on point because of the deflection of the ball.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes it's called help in English, just to compensate the effect of throw.
Right. Nice stroke there, and a confident one too.
Yeah, good shape from Billy here so far.
So tied at 3 apiece. I think we had 121 in the Kremlin. 121 players, is that right?
I think it's 118.
Oh, 18, okay.
Yeah, if everyone is present. Well, still, it's the record audience in terms if we talk about the players, the attendance is the record one. It was like around 100 as soon as the event was included in the world rankings. The European players started to come, so just it was like 101, 102, and this time it's 118.
Yeah, just not getting the balls in the side. Now he's going to get the 4-railer there. You know, I think he has a thin cut on a combination on the 1-6. Possibly a kiss shot on the 1-6, a carom. This 1-6 combination looks thin. This is the type you don't want to use throw. You could easily not cut it enough with throw, and I would like to flat cut this, but
and I'm not sure if he can use the 2-ball to just
to slow the cue ball down,
to try to stop the cue ball. So even if he makes the combo, the cue ball is going to drift all the way to the other end of the table.
Yeah, it's. Wonder if he can hit it with a touch of inside English and go up and down the table, maybe, because you can see how clear that side of the table is. You hate to pass on an offensive shot,
but the 1-ball probably won't go towards the corner pocket as close as he would wish for.
Okay, so he was able to put a little outside, but as you said,
see the 1-ball stays like just it replaces the 6 and stays there, and now the cut is the thinnest of them all.
Yeah, he was wanting to catch the 2-ball a little thicker and a little heavier. That way he could hold the cue ball on that side of the table. Now I'm not so sure he has a bank or a cut shot that's really shootable. He can edge though. He's got the 3-4-8. He can edge the left side, run the cue ball.
Trying to duck behind the 8, or at least the 4.
Looks like he doesn't like that thin shot. Like maybe he's going to run the 1-ball and then try and run the cue ball behind the 9. Bank the 1 all the way, maybe back where the cue ball's at now, somewhere around that area.
Yeah, guys, right now the score is correct. It's 3-3. 3 apiece. That's an automatic system, so just don't be confused. It can be a little bit late sometimes with the updates. But still, so far, it reflects the current condition. It's correct.
Yeah, that shot was very difficult. I'd liked him trying to edge the ball. But a lot of guys, they don't like to try and edge the ball. It's a scary shot for them.
Yeah.
But still, I think it was the right play.
And it always makes me wonder how the snooker players can hit the ball
well, huh?
so well. Just in the beginning of the frame, like.
Okay, so Billy's, I don't know if the 3 passes the 8. He may have to play some short position here, but he's nice on the 2. I don't think it does. I think he's going to have to pull this cue ball maybe 2 rails inside the 3-9 or inside the 3-4. Something like that. He'll come slowly 2 rails, though. It won't be racing very hard.
He will have
like
to use any of the side pockets.
Yeah, as long as he gets by it, he should be okay.
Or maybe even the corner.
Yeah, he's falling a little funny because the 9's there. Now, can he roll this and hit the top of the 9 and just kind of drift to the center of the table for a little bit of a cut on the 4? I'd like to keep this pretty simple if I can.
Well, probably I would go for the corner and just go in, once again, 2 rails across.
But I think it's a lot more of a cut. If he recognizes he can shoot the 3 in the side, looking at the angle, yeah, he can hit the top of the 9 and just kind of drift out into here, I believe. He doesn't have,
or even just maybe come past the 9 and just.
Yeah, I think he's going to. I think he's going to catch the 9.
2 rails around, yeah.
He's going to go ahead and take it on in the corner. A bit more of a missable ball, but definitely more guaranteed position.
But once again, don't forget to pocket that ball.
That's what I mean. A little bit more missable, but. Because
in the previous match, we've seen a couple of shots by both Kasper and Ruslan.
That was a nice hit there.
They were so much like preoccupied about like the way the path of the cue ball. They just
like the one ball.
They missed both of them. Oh, very nice shot from Billy.
Yeah, that's a confidence builder for sure. So he's going to get his extension here, I believe. Just going to draw this ball one rail out. Yeah.
Oh, once again, the side action doesn't grab as good as it
as the other table.
Yeah.
Other tables. He needs to recognize though he can cut the 9 from a thin position and run the cue ball back for the 10. So it doesn't feel like you don't have to get all the way back to the natural side of the 9 to get to the 10. So somewhere kind of where his arm's at now on that line there, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, this black ball is very playable on the new cloth.
Yeah. Okay, so he's going to get that thin one. He'll come 2 rails, kind of hoping to get the cue ball about where it's at now.
Yeah, a little bit awkward position, shooting from the rail, but the 9 sits pretty close to the side pocket.
This is all about speed control. Just don't let that corner pocket come into play. He did. He put enough speed to scratch. That was what I would have been worried about. Never putting enough speed to scratch there, but he hit the line real well, so that's all that matters.
Or maybe he just should have applied some more like left English to force the cue ball go wider and hit the long rail.
Maybe, yeah. I think he actually put inside to force it to hit the end rail. So kind of either one, you want to control it. That's kind of the point of the shot. Don't let it just wander. It's incredible to me. I love coming here to see all the younger players that are playing, not only in the 10 ball but in the pyramid. It is quite amazing, really.
Oh, yesterday it was good to see Corey being successful in this weird-looking game.
He's playing again right now, I believe, or he was playing a minute ago. He was up 2-1. He lost his second match last night, and then he won his first 10 ball match this morning. Back at it in the pyramid now, though. So big game here for Billy, up 4-3 and breaking.
Yes, it is 4-3 in a race to 8.
Got a bad kiss on the cue ball, but I think the one's going to be okay. I don't think I think the 6 opened up as well.
Yeah.
So Oliver, he hasn't made a mistake on an open table. The only mistake he's made is 2 safeties. He's missed, and they were both very similar safeties on the 1 ball, trying to bang the 1 down table and bring the cue ball behind a ball on the side rail.
Yeah, it looks like Szolnoki is not a proponent of thin hits.
Right.
Oh, just kidding.
And a lot of the young ladies playing in the 10 ball as well. I didn't remember them having a ladies 10 ball event, but there's got to be oh, that's a little light there, so he's going to have to make a decision. Does he go into the 6-9 to hold the cue ball? Does he try and go back and forth?
Back and forth is okay as long as you don't scratch in the side.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Does he have to hit on the second rail before the side? Yeah, that's why he's going to take a little more time and see if he can get past that side.
Because like, I think right now, if you try to mess with the 6 ball, it can end up nowhere.
Yeah, for sure. But sometimes that's a better play than trying to really thread the needle going back and forth. Sometimes a little more secure is what I'm saying. That's why I know he didn't end up with anything, but he didn't scratch either cross side trying to go back and forth. He can play from here something, right?
Like they say, as long as your inning didn't end,
yeah,
you're in command.
That's right.
You can still come up with something.
And really the safety part of the game is, like we just commented, a second ago.
Oh, but now he's got so few balls.
Yeah, but he can get the 6 below the 10. Cue ball to the back rail. Okay, you kind of let him see it. But again, Oliver's the only mistakes he's made has been on the tactical side of the game.
Well, but right now I think the table length bank is on.
Whew, that's tight. It's tight. That ball's near the rail on Neufeld. It really always wants to open up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We know he's not going to edge the ball most likely.
Well, from that distance, I like just keeping it conservative a little bit and playing a nice gentle touch to use probably the 10 ball as a blocker.
I love that. Put the 6 on the side rail.
Yeah.
Cue ball on the
cue ball
opposite.
on the other, yeah.
Yeah. And normally when you're shooting that shot, you should get the feeling of both balls coming to rest at the same time. Oh, okay.
And got a roll here.
Yeah.
Didn't scratch.
Especially if he's left him dead straight. If he's left him dead straight, he's got Billy in a funny position. Billy may have to elevate here and try and really punch this ball
maybe
away.
Maybe he can go rail first.
Yeah, it's a ways away though. Watch how far out the 6 is. From that angle. From this angle, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But from this angle, it's quite dodgy. So Billy's gotten to where he's got to play safe again, unless he wants to go for some maybe really thin shot in the corner or a cross-side bank. This is where you have to pull on the reins a little bit, like slow the horse down and maybe just let the... Oh, he's going to go for the cut, okay. I mean, we're all aggressive players. We all want to shoot.
Well, I bet one of the most attentive people in the audience is Johan Rousing.
Uh-oh. Dang.
Ah, that's unlucky.
Yeah, he thought he would hit the end rail, and I thought he would too, actually, on the slick table. So we're going to be tied at 4 apiece with the Hungarian breaking the balls in game 9.
So once again, let's take a look at the way Oliver Szolnoki racks the balls.
Yeah, I
do you see
I can see the...
Do you see the template like...
yeah, in between the 1-4...
developing the wrinkles every time.
I can see in between the 1-4, it's got a bubble, like
sure.
a little bubble.
Yeah, every single time. And I just wonder how he doesn't pay attention to this one.
Yeah, or has not been
because
informed before.
As soon as the templates came into place,
a couple great players there from Greece.
Yeah.
Nick Economopoulos and Alex Kazakis.
I think Nick was missing last year.
Yeah, well, he hasn't played a lot until here. What I've heard recently, last few years, he hasn't played a ton of pool, at least professional pool. Yeah, those balls aren't well. He got the 6 down because he's hit them well every time. He hasn't hit him poorly at all.
Yeah, he's got a nice spread, but no shot. No shot to start with. Nikos Economopoulos was a
great player.
Yeah, one of the members of the Mosconi Cup Team Europe.
Oh yeah, one of the
back in the days. Yeah.
When he played too, he was, and he's still, what is he, 35 only? He was, in my opinion, one of the straightest shooters too, as far as just getting down and making tough shots. Really a powerful player as well.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how the game of pool is I would say region bound. It's like you see it is developed in Greece, but you can hardly come up with the name of a Hungarian player.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure in Hungary, anyways, there's probably another cue sport that is more dominant, whether it be carom, the three cushion snooker, or something. It's probably a little bigger than pool. I would guess, anyways. Quite like maybe Israel or something like
Or
that, where they play some
maybe
pool, but
maybe
snooker is still
they
the
just don't have a new star born.
right. It'd be hard for me to believe he's going to roll out and challenge Billy here. I know straight in looks like it's difficult to get position, but I don't think I could roll out to this. Even though it's a long shot, this would be a hard one for me to roll out to. I don't think he's ever getting it back either.
Well, my take on a rollout usually is that as long as you can see the ball, never return it. Like never give it back, because
Yeah.
like right now it's your shot and just it is you
Yeah, that's
doing
about
the business. Yeah.
Yeah, as we were talking at the beginning of the match, you just at a pro level, you rarely ever give it back. It's got to really be a devastating. And that's why I didn't understand the push, even though Billy didn't get there. Though I think he snookered. And now young Oliver looks like a genius. And I say young Oliver, I think Billy's 22 as well.
Well, definitely Billy looks older of the two.
Right.
Maybe due to his
beard.
Yeah.
Well, he probably has a little more experience at this level. Billy does. And I think Billy can see a piece of this, but I don't think that he can do much with it. I think he has to play the kick, and he may go all out at this with a lot of speed. Okay. That's got to go. And he hit it perfect. What a shot. Great shot.
Very nice. And I think he got a snooker, right?
Yeah, definitely full ball.
And you see Szolnoki acknowledging the result, just giving a little tap on the table with his cue stick. Well, actually, I think this is on, like going a one-rail kick.
Yeah.
The 9 doesn't interfere with the shot.
No, not at all.
Actually, I would like calculate the diamonds and just here you use the divide by half the system.
The one thing about the system, though,
suppose,
is the spread of the table is so much. The new felt, it's very hard to, in my opinion, to really trust that. I think you have to do a combination of both. Maybe a little reference with the system and the feel of what you get, how the table's playing.
Well, I think if you rely on any kind of a system, you have like a couple of minutes before the match starts to try to figure out how the table works and
Right.
maybe
Make the adjustments then.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this is the type, if he hits it, the pocket's near. Wouldn't be surprised if he makes it.
Like going maybe even two rails, yeah.
Well, he did
get
nice.
position on the three.
Did nice anyways to get the separation. Now this is where I would probably go back to using the 9. Put the 2 on the side rail. Keep it simple. You think you would want to run the cue ball and get behind the 3-4 maybe, but doesn't
just
take much.
Go into rails and behind the 9 is okay.
Yeah, I think so. And it's simple. It's not that hard to do either. You should get a pretty nice feel for it. It looks like to me he's probably running the cue ball. Okay, nice shot. He got it.
Well, he even went the simplest of all the routes.
And this is where the jump cue is even more powerful, being able to jump this and knock it away and bring the cue ball back. He won't jump to bank this in. He'll jump to bank this 2 ball 2 rails down by the 5, most likely, and bring the cue ball down table. And this is where really being good with the jump cue matters just as much as making them.
And actually the cue ball position helps a little bit here, just using the rail
Right.
for more elevation.
Yeah, and more stability too.
I remember the first time Earl Strickland came up with finger extensions, like
Yeah.
to get more elevation, and like maybe in a month or two it was bent.
Well, yeah, it should have been as well. I mean, if you ever watched the bridge, it was so solid. It was like stealing.
Yeah, but like I'm always amazed at Earl's creativity
Right.
when it comes to the game of pool.
Okay, hit it a little more thin than he wanted, but still got some separation. Billy can cut this in, I think, if he chooses. He could play a bank shot as well. Could, if he can get to the right side of the two.
I think the position is not certain. Like,
no,
the angle is
not.
pretty steep.
He's banking this, maybe. Banks so well. Amazing.
Well, I think it was a bank pool division he won at the Derby City.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's actually won the one pocket now and the bank pool. Yeah.
Master of the table in the end.
Oh, I
Or
don't.
was it Skylar?
No, Skylar won
Skylar,
Master
yeah.
of the Table.
Yeah,
Skylar
yeah.
won the 9-ball this year.
Yeah.
And then Master of the Table.
Because I remember the photo of Skylar Woodward holding two checks, like 2,000, 20,000, 16,000,
Right.
and something extra for the ring game. Actually, I think it was you winning one of the side events at one pocket during the Derby City, like the mini tournament.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Yeah, I think I did, yeah. That was easy. Not easy, but easier than...
That's not for the text servers.
No. Let's not talk about them. It's a funny shot here. The 3 doesn't really play off the 4 on the side, I don't think. I think it goes all the way down, though.
You mean past the 9?
I think it goes past the 4. Oh, maybe not.
Well, that's a blind
Oh,
pocket.
he cut it.
Yeah.
And now you got another. That's 2 scratches. One on an 8, one on a 3. Really hard to predict those.
Well, that's a chance for Oliver to go 1 rack up once again in a race to 8. Prefers going 2 rails around and towards the 9, just along the position zone.
Very natural. Well, he's looking at. Well, he aims high sometimes and then comes down. So, good thing about playing position like that is where he didn't as much, but you can be a little more aggressive with the swing coming 2 rails towards the target. It usually won't get away from you like a 1 rail will sometimes.
It's kind of a self-directed missile.
But you can see he's just barely above middle and then coming down. And that type of shot is where the deflection got him a little bit. He wanted a little more jump on the cue ball than that. Just kind of probably with the left English kind of deflected into the ball a little heavier than he wanted. So a little bit more of a tester on the 10. Shouldn't be a problem though.
Yeah, that's kind of a regular shot. Well, we've got some dress code talk here in the chat. Well, black is not compulsory. I think the dress code is just black trousers or trousers of any color and a shirt.
Right,
basically
dress shirt.
That's it. So just you're not even required to have a vest.
Yeah, button-down shirt.
Yeah, long sleeve shirt with a collar, and that's it. And you can see in the background right now the majority of players taking part in the Russian pyramid event. They wear white shirt and a vest. I think they are required.
They are required
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best for sure. Yeah, Corey.
I'm not sure. Like Max Eberl took a vest with him
Yeah.
from the States. So just did he have to borrow one?
Well,
from
he didn't plan on playing in the pyramid here at all, and he
really?
didn't realize he was able to.
Yeah.
So he entered somewhat last minute and acquired a vest. And Billy going to get snookered in a very difficult situation here. You may see him jump at this. It's so difficult. The thing is, with the 5-7 the way it is, the 3-6 jumbled up a little bit, I don't think I'd take a chance on the jump here. I go ahead and roll out, and it's going to be a tactical game, right?
Yeah, you mean the jump shot, even if it is successful, it doesn't lead you anywhere.
Yeah, and you could maybe open balls up that don't go, and now Oliver can run out. But if you roll out somewhere, Oliver's not going to be able to run out. I think maybe a little frustration there, but he got safe.
Well, maybe he can just see the edge of the two.
Well, he can definitely get at it.
Yeah, the left side.
He can definitely get at it. Oh, he's taking the jump cue as well. And to me, this is, I don't see the reason in this. The way the balls are, there's no reason you have to make the two. The only thing you can do here is really cause problems, I think, for yourself. Now, the 4 is there, right? So maybe you can run out. Maybe you can get on the 4 and break the 5 out. But if the 3 doesn't pass the 6...
Well, it's hard to say from this very position.
If the 3 doesn't pass the 6, I don't think there's...
too many work to do.
Yeah. I don't see any reason in trying to make that 2 ball if the 3 doesn't pass the 6. I would have tried to maybe bank it back down table and see what happens, but... Now, the one thing with the rules that are playing is the 10, there's no early 10s, no early wins on the 10. So you don't have to worry about clipping this 2 back near the 10 and run the cue ball because he can't win on something early on you.
Yeah. The 10 ball should be pocketed as the very last ball of the rack.
Right.
For the win.
You can shoot a combination on the 10
Yes,
and
but
call it, and
will
then
be respotted, yeah.
it respots and you do continue shooting. I'm trying to locate Corey on the outer tables and see if he's still playing.
We can just try to check the bracket.
And that's in the pyramid I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we'll find out if
the bank is on.
Yeah, the bank's on, and we'll find out if that 3 passes. If he takes this bank on, that'll probably tell you the 3 passes.
I think the 3 does.
Okay. Well, then it's a doable run out then, because you can shoot the 4 and bump the 5 off the rail to open it up. Looks like he's laying him behind the 10 to me. Maybe not. That's got to go a bit there. Yeah.
Not enough.
That's going to be a little upsetting. And now can he play the 2 off the 4 and open everything up, Michael? Is that possible? 2 off the 4 on the side, 4 goes into the 5 or the 8 to open the balls up?
Sure.
I think so. I think it lays really nice.
Right now,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Oliver, there's just the way of thinking by the pro player, like yourself and Oliver.
Yeah, I think straight high English, the 2 goes easily in the side off the 4. You're taking a little bit of a gamble with the cue ball, but...
Yeah, right now I think Corey is free from the pyramid event. He lost 1 to 4.
Okay. Well, those guys are competitors, but I'll be honest with you, it's a little bit more for entertainment for them. Didn't expect a whole lot. He's drawing this ball, so he's going to try and contain the cue ball. Oh, nice shot. And see how it opened everything up. Now the 5 passes the 8, I believe.
Yep.
Oh, he could even get into the 5 now if he needed.
Well, I think if he develops the 5 right now, maybe he will have to deal with some sort of a combo, like 5 to 8.
Maybe.
Well, frankly, I don't like the position of the 7 right now.
Yeah, but you can't do much about that. And it goes by the 8. It goes by the 8. So if you get down here, it's not a hard shot with the 8 being there. You don't have to move the cue ball much. I wouldn't move anything here myself. I wouldn't move a thing. Well, I didn't know he could control it that well. And
yeah, actually, that was a very nice solution to this position, yeah.
And the guys at the table always see the angles a little better.
And he hit the cue ball with like enough speed to make sure the 5 travels toward the opposite corner pocket.
Yeah. And with the 8 being so available, the 7's not that much of an issue, really. If he had to gain position on the 8 somewhere around the table, now the 7 becomes difficult. That's funny. A friend of mine, Joe Gilpin, way back in Dallas, Texas, a guy actually, I play some pool league with these guys, and good guys, band of brothers.
Are you still allowed to join any league?
Well, I kind of sub for him here to help him out, you know, and a good bunch of guys. We play a lot of pool together and hang out. And
great. So just a draw shot?
Well, he's gotten it's up to him. If he wants to punch it a little bit one rail over, he's okay. Or he could follow one rail to the short side of the 7. I think he's going to punch this ball one rail above.
So you mean he shouldn't be afraid of like going to the short side?
No, not at all. The 7's a little off the rail, and again, the 8's so handy that you can afford to fall straight in on the 7.
Yeah, you're right. It's not frozen, like.
Yeah.
Because the majority of them players like don't want to hit the
past
object ball past the side, correct?
Yeah. It's actually one of the shots you should become confident in. It's a shot you should really practice because, like you said, most don't want to do that.
Yeah, but every now and then you face these positions.
And if you have the advantage to where you're comfortable with that, it's a long-term thing. But in the long term, you're gonna come out ahead. Now, I would have liked to have gotten dead straight on it, of course, but still, I haven't seen him really miss the pocket. Really, it's been the tactical side of the game that's he's had a few mistakes. So I don't expect to see a miss here. Now, you don't want to roll it. Don't try to make the pocket bigger. Go ahead and put it that nice medium stroke like that. Oh, and he did miss. And he's going to leave Billy a thin cut. Billy should be able to get that.
Yeah, that was a chance wasted for Oliver.
Yeah, and that was just not falling quite on that rail. Even though I feel like, and he'll tell you the same, that he should have probably made that. But if he falls straight, he's going to make it.
Well, Billy got off the hook in this very wreck. It's 5 apiece, raised to 8. Still some more wrecks to go.
Yeah, and Billy with the highest finish for the Americans last year in the Kremlin Cup, I believe, if I remember correctly, with a tied for 9th finish. Final 16 it was. And lost Hill, I believe, in the match. In that match he lost in the single elimination part of the Kremlin Cup. He really hasn't. Billy's made a couple mistakes here, but he's also had a couple unfortunate situations where he's scratched.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah. Okay, he's made that 6 on the side again. The one's going to come down near the corner for a nice opener.
Yeah, that's a good outcome.
Yeah. Now, can he come one rail across and get for the 2 and the, or does he have to draw all the way down the side rail? If he can come one rail across,
I like the second option, drawing the ball
all the way down the side rail.
Yeah.
Well, if the 7 wasn't there, I think he would come one rail across, I believe. It's just a little more fun way, more easy on the mind kind of way to shoot the shot, kind of cheat the pocket a little bit on the 1. Because you could overdraw, get on the bottom rail. If you underdraw, you're behind the 10.
Well, he's almost straight in, so maybe just go in with an extreme follow to rails around would have been an option, but the 4 ball, I think, just blocks this path, so...
Yeah, he's going to get all the way to the end rail there, and he's
yeah.
going to have a thin cut on the 2, and that's, as far as staying offensive, that's what I would have worried about. But he's got to make sure he gets past the 10, so that was a touchy shot coming some 8 feet down the table.
Well,
One thing is he didn't take much time, though.
No offensive option here, but he's still at the table.
Yeah, and he'll just, here you just want to creep the 2 past the 7 a little bit. Cue ball behind the 8. He's let the cue ball go. That's a big mistake. He's left Billy a piece of this too, and that is a huge mistake to not get behind the 8 or the 7.
I
to
think
not get behind the 8.
He was bothering about leaving more distance between the object ball and the cue ball.
Yeah.
That was the reason for extra speed.
Or maybe not making sure the 2 didn't cover over the side. He didn't want an easy shot on the 2, maybe over the side pocket where the kick was there. Don't let the 8 go in. Okay.
Ooh. Another scratch was on.
Mm-hmm.
Could have easily caromed to the corner pocket off the 8.
Right. That would have been cold. Okay, so we'll see what he has here. This is cue ball behind the 3, maybe 2 up behind the 4. It's not easy, but you gotta
just come in, all guns out, and just make it.
Okay, with the 9 being there, I like this. This isn't bad, but he needs to get the snooker though, or else he's going to leave a 2-9 combination.
Yeah, the combo is on.
Yeah, you kind of expect the 2 to get up a little bit more away from the side rail and make this a much more difficult shot if you do leave a shot. He is elevated over the 8 a bit. We're playing all ball fouls. Looks like you hate to roll this, so he'll kind of center English with a little speed.
Well, I'm surprised he used so much power on this shot.
Well, you hate to roll it, I think, jacked up.
It was looking to me like a drag shot at first. He was aiming low, but just for a follow. I think,
to turn it over.
For a slow roll, yeah.
Right.
But then in the end, you see. Maybe once again Billy was not sure about leaving the 2 ball on this
in rail.
Yes, on the long rail.
Okay, can he draw above the 3, above the 4 for the cut on the 3? Can he get past the 4 and still hold somewhat off the rail? Or does he have to really kind of turn the cue ball loose a little bit here? That's one thing about this slick table. You can really kind of cheat the angles a little bit when it comes to drawing the ball. That's going to be really flirting with a lot of danger here. Is he going to get away with it, or is he going to be behind the 9? Dead behind the 9.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit of the youth, I think.
That's unfortunate for Oliver and some of his fans who joined our chat. Obviously writing something in Hungarian. Well, that's a foul. And he rushed this one a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Very much like the shot a minute ago when he made a mistake on the 7, I believe it was. So Billy would come 1 rail back for the 4 on the side. Wants to stay off the rail. The 7 goes by the 9 up long. It's pretty perfect.
Yeah, got an angle.
Mm-hmm. He can just float this in, come to the rail. little short of ideal, but I go ahead and draw below the 10 here, I believe. He could come just one row out, but then you don't hit the cue ball with that crispness as much. I'd rather draw this more like that.
Concentrate on making the ball.
Right. But sometimes when you simplify the shot, right, you don't quite hit the cue ball so crisp. So I liked him putting the draw on the ball there to make sure he hits its. I don't know how to exactly explain it, Michael, but it's just a more clean way to hit the ball. So some people would say you could just draw to the side rail and stay above the 10. But like I said, you kind of hitting a middle ball. You don't turn the object ball like you want. Makes it a little bit more missable. So again, in a good position at 6-5, and it looks like they're going to take a timeout. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we will too.
Yeah, sure.
Be right back.
Stay tuned. we are back live. The score is 6-5. Billy Thorpe is leading one racket ahead.
He missed him a little there, but he got some balls down. He's going to get a nice shot on the 1. What's the 2-3 going to do? It's okay. So it looks like all about making this 1 ball, Michael. Balls are nice and open there. He should be able to hold the 2-3 up to get back on the 5 with not too much problem. There is a little bit of congestion and traffic in the middle of the table with the 6-8, but I wouldn't mind rolling this to get a little closer to the 2-3, but not so important.
Well, just once again, I think you covered that matter during the last track about like hitting the ball with authority and
sure.
not trying to baby the cue ball.
Right. And that's perfect. He'll come right in between one rail and between the 6-7 down. This is where he'll want a little bounce off that second cushion, that being the cushion near the 5.
Just avoid hitting the 6.
And this is going to get a little straight, so maybe he'll have to draw the cue ball out. And this is what I would have. It's okay. He can still manage, but just a simple draw stroke just above the head string, probably.
Well, if the second wasn't there, I would have preferred to go in rail first once again.
Trying,
just
yeah.
To gain position on the 6 because like, the shot wasn't very hard.
Yeah, and he really didn't cheat the pocket on the 5 like I thought he would right there. He hit it more straight on, and he could have cheated it to get a little closer to the 6. But
well, now he's got some distance. Just a stop shot will do.
great shot. And he's got a hair of an angle on the 7, it appears, where he could go forward if needed. And Billy's really simplified his stroke, and not so much his stroke, but more of his pre-strokes, and I think it's gonna really bode well for him in the long run.
He wasn't aiming to hit the cue ball high enough, just kind of a start shot. Got the forward roll, but
well, what happens is, when you have time, the ball will turn over for you, so you don't have to go quite as high on the cue ball as people think.
Yeah,
nice
thank you, Daniel, for letting me know about my mic. It was off.
Oh, well, we didn't have
So,
Michael
yeah,
there for a moment.
Yeah, sure.
It was wise words. Trust me. Words of wisdom. Now, thin 10 ball here. This is another one. Don't baby it. You want clean contact from cue ball to 10. Nice shot. And that's a big game for Billy Thorpe.
Yeah, he goes on the hill.
Yeah. And he's going to at least get to break the balls once to win the match. And at this level, that's a lot of what you're looking for. It's nice when you get 2 or 3 opportunities to break the balls to win.
Well, you know, talking about the breaks, recently I made an observation that unlike during recent years when alternate break was introduced into the game, like it was almost impossible back then to come from behind. But now it changed a little bit. So just even with alternate break, the players get their chances.
Oh yeah, and you got to believe it's just.
And
it's just like
it's like possible to build a big lead or just maybe to cut.
Yeah, and it's a long-term thing. You just keep playing every game and see if the balls allow you to come back. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes your opponent doesn't allow you to come back. They just go ahead and do what they need to do with that lead, and you don't win the match.
Once again, you see nothing found gravity.
Yeah. Well, no, he made one. He made the 8 in the side.
Yeah, my mistake.
But they still didn't open like we're used to seeing the 10 ball rack open these days.
Yeah, 8 ball is down. Yeah.
And he's gonna quickly feather the 1 and put him up behind the 5, and this could be a devastating safety if he hits it well. Okay, real well. This is gonna be most likely ball in hand here. I don't think he can get through there.
What about using the rail? Like
I still don't think
elevating into the rail just in order to cover the 4.
Hop the ball. Can he get at the 7 or anything? He can't get at anything here.
No.
Can he kind of push the 4 into the rail and up on the 5 maybe to
That's
tie
the best,
tie
the,
that
the
up?
best example of being in jail, like they say.
Right.
No way to escape, like
And that-
Alcatraz or whatever.
Yeah, I would try to kick something out of position here, like that. I would try to do something like that. I think that's a pretty smart play because the 2 to the 3, the 1 to the 2 to the 3, everything's not so easy.
Well, actually, Billy managed to cover the long rail for the 3 ball.
Right. Now, if the 2 passes the 10, well, he could shoot the 2 past the 10 and get on the 3 in the upper corner. But still, getting to the 4 is not easy either.
Yeah, of course, the combo is on. Like the 7 came up pretty close to the corner pocket. I don't think Billy wanted to do this, but well, that's all he could do here.
Yeah. Oliver's got to bank the 1 down by the 3 and all that and play safe behind the 4-5 and go for the 3 foul, I believe.
Yeah, just trying to freeze the cue ball to the 4 would do for the second foul.
Yeah, I would put it more in the center of the table, though, right? It looks like to me if he's putting it here, he's maybe attacking the 1. No, he's knocking it. But you want to put the 1 near other balls, though, right?
Well, I think he got the cue ball covered, but the 1 rail escape is on here.
Yeah, that's why you want to put the. I would have put more head on and banked the 1 down by the congestion.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want
sure.
balls.
Towards the 6 or maybe
Yeah,
like the 3
exactly.
ball. Yeah.
The 3-9 something. And I think it would have
Just
been more
using-
natural to get behind the 4 that way.
Using
as well.
more pace and once again just stunning the cue ball behind the 4.
Yeah, Billy's got a lot of positive ways to get safe here. If he can contact this 1, he can get by the 10 with the cue ball. It went on him.
Oh, that's a foul.
Yeah.
The second one. So Billy is on 2. Well, the 4 ball goes, but before he has to deal with the 3 if he's going to try the run out.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for the nice way to play safe again.
Yeah.
I think maybe I chip the 1 towards the 3 and run the cue ball back behind the 4-5. I think. Just. I think
maybe
so.
maybe just trying to save this 3 foul option for until the 4 ball.
He's on 2 now, so.
I mean, just clear the table a little bit, just make the
And
1, 2,
then
3, and
maybe play the safety on the 4.
on the 4,
maybe,
yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, provided like it is pretty easy, like to
Get
duck
the
behind
first
the
3.
5, yeah.
Get the first 3 all down also. I'll tell you another. Well. That's another thing about the slick table. Sometimes when you have to run the cue ball with control, it's not so easy to be pinpoint. Very, very pinpoint accurate. Looks like he's going to follow past this for the 2 in the corner near he's standing. He's gotten 2 straight. Can't get to the 3 now.
And the 9 sits a little bit awkward here for his cueing.
But he's 2 straight, I don't think, unless he wants to elevate and kind of masse the ball towards the backside of the 3.
I believe he can stun draw it to the left side, but once again, with the position of the 9, it's going to be tricky.
Oh, he may be able to follow. He may be able to force this to the top, to the side rail. And
Yes, he is playing the foul.
Yeah, like that. Okay, so he hit it perfect, I think. Or well, anyways. Well, it fell on the side rail.
Well, once again, I think the angle is a little bit funny.
I totally agree. It's going to have to go to the side rail and then back out. But the cross corner bank on the 4 is pretty easy bank shot as well if he wants to fall on the bottom rail. Or if he happens to fall on the bottom rail, both, whether he wants to or not.
Well, I believe he was going was choosing the option I suggested, like maybe trying to play safe on the 4 ball. But now it's the run out. He can even cut this in. cut this in and make a wild guess on where the 5 ends up.
He may be able to slow spin it though, right? And get by the 5? No? I think
Probably,
so.
yes. He's got enough room.
Yeah, I think so. Now he's hitting straight high ball. If he's doing that, he's going to hit the 5. Yeah. And he hit it way too thin. And
Well,
elevated over the 9 now. So he has become an underdog in this game all of a sudden. And therefore an underdog in this match.
oh, still he got like not being snookered on this very
Yeah.
shot.
Difficult though.
Well, once again, whatever happens in this rack, Billy has got the break.
Right. Well, if he wins this rack, he won't need the break.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, he's going to give up a shot, and he's going to give up a good one. So it's
There's
just
a sign
been
of frustration for Oliver Szolnoki,
yeah,
hitting the cue ball on the floor.
and he's played well, but it's been mainly tactical situations. Besides that 7 ball, he missed down the rail.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that was tight.
yeah,
Or Billy made it look more
yeah.
tight.
He didn't hit it as clean as he wanted. Cue ball would have got definitely more movement if he had hit it better. But yeah, he hit it thick. I think on the outer tables that might have stood up.
Really?
Table number 15. Matikainen, Kudlik. Table number 15. Lukin Артем. Наливка Дмитрий. Стол номер 2. Наливка Lukin, table number 2. Матвиенко Владимир.
So he's a little off angle here. He can move it over if he wants, or I think he can pinch it and hold the cue ball there, whichever he prefers. That's one thing about the new felt. You can really pinch the cue ball if you need.
Well, once again, has to use the extension.
Новоселов. Стефан Ноул. Table number 9. Stefan Noel.
I remember seeing Efren Reyes shooting these shots like placing the cue but on the cloth and just pushing it,
Yeah. He used to fool around with that.
underneath himself.
Yeah, I've seen that also. Played Efren in a few exhibitions
that
in the
was
last
a
few
very
years.
inventive technique.
What a fun player.
Table number 16. Andrew Buffon. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz.
Okay, well,
Billy Thorpe comes
Yeah.
victorious and he is through to the next round.
Mark Maggie. Thorsten Homan. Table number 7.
well, thank you, Michael, and I enjoyed it. I'm sure we'll
Yes,
do
Jeremy,
more.
thank you for joining us. So,
He's here. He knows that 7 ball was probably the match. If he gets that 7 down, Oliver practicing it. They'll both
it's
be back,
a bit too late.
right?